Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. And currently we are doing our top interview 150 question series. And today we are going to take a new question, which is jump game 2. In previous video we have done jump game. Now we are doing the second part of it, which is jump game 2. So now let's do this question. So the question states that you are given a zero indexed array of integers nums of length n. You are initially positioned at nums 0. Each element nums I represents the maximum length of a forward jump from I. In other words, if you are at nums I, you can jump to any nums I plus j where j is in between 0 to nums I and I plus j is always less than n. Finally, you have to return the minimum number of jumps to reach nums n minus 1. The test cases are generated such that you can reach nums n minus 1. So in previous question, we have to check that do we are able to reach to the last position. And in this question, it is confirmed that we can reach to the last position and we have to find the minimum number of jump which we can take to go to the last index. So this is the question. Now let's learn about how we are going to do it and the approach. So in here, what we are going to do, we want the minimum number of jumps needed. So we are going to use a greedy approach. And in this, what we are going to do, we are going to take the two pointers, and one is going to be the our start pointer, and second is the end pointer. In this, what we are going to accumulate in between this is that the range for starting from every index, the what is the maximum and the minimum range which we can achieve. So starting from the first index, here you can see we can jump maximum 2. So we can jump to the first index, then to the second index. So the maximum we can reach is to the second index, and our starting index is 0. So the range which we can achieve from starting from first index is going to be from 1 to 2. Okay, and so that's why in the first iteration what's happened, our s is going to be 1 and e is going to be 2, because when we start from first we get a range from 1 to 2. Now in the second iteration, what we are going to do, we are going to check that already we have a range from 1 to 2. So we start from first index and check to the our end index, that what is the next set of index that we can reach. So finally we have to find the maximum. So if we find the maximum, then we can already find the range. So when we start from the first here, so when we think of the 3, we can jump maximum 3 jumps. So in 3 jumps we can reach to the last index, which is 4. And again when we move to the second index of our interval, which is 1, we can jump to the next index, which is 3. So the maximum which can be achieved in this range from 1 to 2 is going to be 4. So our next range is going to be the next of the e value, the next of the value next to e is going to be our next start, and the maximum is going to be our e. So our s is going to be 3 and our e is going to be 4. So this is the approach which we are going to perform, and finally by this we can find the total number of iteration which we have done. So it will gives us the minimum number of jump which we can take to reach the last position. So now let's write this code to understand how we are going to do. So as earlier discussed, we are going to take a value. Let's take is mini is equals to 0, which is going to be our value to be returned. That is the minimum number of jump. Now we have to take the two pointer. One is e equals to 0, starting position, and again we are going to take a start equals to 0. Sorry, it is a end position and it is a start position. So now when we have taken this, now we have to run a loop. We are taking while, and we are checking unless our end is less than nums dot size nums dot size minus 1. So unless we are before the last index, we can run the loop. So when we reach at the last index or our e goes beyond the this index, so we can already move to our required answer. So it will satisfy and give us the answer. So now what we have to do, so we have already run a loop when we are checking that when we have to stop. Now here let's take a random variable. Let's take it temp, or let's take it temp, and let's equate it to equals to mini, no, e. Okay, now we have to run a for loop which is starting from I equals to s, which is a start index. and until when equals to e. So we are starting from our start index until the end index, which is the range which we are considering in here. Now again, what we are doing, I plus plus. So in here, what we are doing, we are trying to find the maximum index which we can reach in the by using this number of indexes. So in here, what we have to do, we have to update. So we are going to do our temp is equals to max of temp, comma, nums I plus I. So what we are going to do, we are going to update our temp every time. So previously we have the maximum which we have achieved is e, and now in each iteration we are checking what is the maximum which we can reach from every index. So when we are at 3, we can move to the last fourth index. So our value is going to be equals to nums I plus I. That's why I have taken this nums I plus I, which is giving us the final index. Because it is 3 and its position is 1, so 3 plus 1 4, it is giving us the correct output, which is 4. So we are updating here. Now what we have to do, now finally we have to update our start equals to int plus 1. Okay, now our int is equals to our new temp value, which is our maximum which we can reach. And finally what we have to do, we have to update our mini to plus 1. Now finally we have to return mini. So this is the complete code. So now let's try to run this code. So it is accepted. Now let's submit this code. Okay, so it is successfully submitted. So this is the question for today. Thank you all.